Well, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck to Sim live stream today. It is the 12th of January 2022, 2 minutes past 4 in the afternoon in the United Kingdom. We're in Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is actually the first ever dedicated Microsoft Flight Simulator stream I've done on my new PC since I've had it a month or so. I've been looking forward for this stream for a while. Aerosoft got in contact with me last week and said, hey, Flight Deck to Sim, would you like to try out our upcoming Twin Otter being released on the 19th of January? I said, absolutely love to. That's a really cool aircraft to fly. Really cool aircraft for Microsoft Flight Simulator as well. You'll be able to explore lots of new cool places. I'll be talking about the aircraft throughout the stream. One thing I wanted to highlight, and it is a pinned comment as well, this aircraft is not the final version. It is due to be released, I think, a week today, but it's in beta. So Aerosoft wanted to highlight, look, this isn't reflective of the final product. There's some small bugs still. The sounds are not even fully inserted yet. The animations need tweaking, and that's on the pinned comment to reflect that. So the sounds do sound occasionally a bit funny, but overall they're quite nice. Yeah, it's an excellent aircraft, and it comes with 13 different variants. We're in the parachute version today. We'll show you some of them at the end of the stream in the cockpit or the hangar view as well. Excellent. Where are we today? We're in Nepal, of all places. We've never been to Nepal before on any stream. We're going to be flying here from Kathmandu to Lukla. Now, if you don't know Lukla's one of the most famous approaches in the aviation world, also known as one of the most challenging and difficult approaches, nestled just south of the Mount Everest. Mount Everest? It is Mount Everest, isn't it? Yeah, I've got my mountains muddled up. In the Himalayas, very high elevation, about 10,000 feet, and we'll be flying from Kathmandu. Flight time just about 30 minutes. We're going to do 2 flights today. First flight here, we're going to do offline, do the full checklist, just demonstrate you the product, and then on the return sector, we're going to fly back to Kathmandu. I'm going to go online on Microsoft Flight Simulator, so you can join me in your other aircraft, and we're going to actually do some real-life approach here, and it should be quite tight with minimums today, because look at this, we're live weather, we are 12 hours behind live time, because it is dark here at the moment, a little bit misty and murky. Anyway, I'll zoom on in towards the aircraft, so I can show you around. Who have we got here in chat? Atomic Penguin. Tim Fraser, thanks for 38 months. Better get the Atlas out. Yeah, I'll definitely need it. I've already getting places muddled up. I don't know Nepal very well. Is it Nepal? Nepal, it's Nepal, isn't it? I don't know Nepal very well, but we'll soon get ourselves around it. Who else have we got in chat today whilst we look at this beautiful aircraft? Lukla, not Lukla. Oh my goodness, Lukla. Is it actually pronounced Lukla? Really? Oh dear, should have looked that up first. No VATSIM today, no, not on VATSIM. Good day, Lance, hello Edo, D Aviation, Craig Stevens, Budget Sim, Pag Anthony, hope you're doing well. Best for now says hi, Bjorn, Evan Wallstrom, John Padwell's here, Hans Harland, Aaron Chemyong, hope you're doing well. Today's stream will be full of learning stuff. Not so sure about that, I don't know much about the turboprops or the Twin Otter, but I'll do my best. This is sort of my interpretation of it there. Richard, fix your sound. What's wrong with the sound, Richard Kaplan? How's the sound, guys? Let me know. Nepal. Yeah, pronounced Nepal. Thank you, Divij. And Divij is from Nepal. What's wrong with how I'm saying it, then? That's what I said at the start, wasn't it? Outrageous. Love the pronunciations, Captain Richard. I'll do my absolute best then. Anyway, here is the beautiful Twin Otter on the external view. We'll just turn the disco intro music down or put on something a little bit more relaxing. Yeah, exterior model, like with many aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator, is absolutely stunning. This is one of the 13 variants that comes with this aircraft. You'll have one with floats, so you can do all the flying in the Maldives. You have one with Tundra wheels, you've got cargo variants, passenger variants. They're all configured accordingly inside as well. I mean, this even has the parachute jump lights you can control, which is really cool. But yeah, let me just slow down my drone cam here because it's all very fast. But yeah, looking around here, you can tell it's a STOL aircraft. Look at the shape of the wing and design. This thing can go so slowly. I'll be trying my best to follow the real world checklist, the correct speeds throughout the entire stream as well. But yeah, the detailing is really, really nice. There's the exterior model, there's the wheels, working our way there. Thank you very much. Noah, I want to see what Microsoft Jade says.
Pronounced Nepal, not nipple.
Nepal. Oh, did I say? I didn't say nipple. purple. Outrageous. We're going to Nepal. We're in Nepal, guys. We're going to Lukla, apparently. That's how that's pronounced. Oh dear, Lukla. Anyway, there is the exterior model. Very nice by Aerosoft. Very impressed. As I said, the sounds aren't quite finished yet. They've got an Air Inuit livery as well. And I mean, look at the metal. You can see. I love that detail. You can just sort of see it's a little bit aged, little crimples in it. They've got this Air Inuit livery, and it looks really weathered. It looks really, really cool. But yeah, very nice exterior model. Indeed. Anyway, we'll jump on in through the parachute doors. Yeah, you can see, look, you've got the parachute lights. You can actually control that. It's a shame we haven't actually got any parachutists modelled, but you can see, look, not for comfort, this one. It's just to sit down, ready to jump out of. So just little church pews is what it looks like. But anyway, there we are. We've smoothly transitioned into the cockpit. There we are. Craig, Stefan, thanks for the 11 months there. I did this very flight about 2 months ago. Crashed on approach to Lukla, dropped out the sky. Craig, well, wish me luck. We'll do our absolute best to not do that. We are live weather here. The weather would not be suitable if we were landing in Lukla, but hopefully it will improve later. What on earth is that? Let me just... I think that might be on the door. Yeah, so as I said, this isn't quite finished. There might be a few little graphical anomalies. There is an issue with the VR navigation when you're flying away from a beacon. You don't get the correct guidance. Flying to a beacon's not a problem, but from is an issue. So we're going to use GPS to get to Lukla and then VOR on the way back. But yeah, the interior modelling quality continues. The quality as it is in the exterior, really nice in here. Everything's 3D. Some great sound effects as well. I mean, it looks its age, looks really warm, but Aerosoft are known for making high quality interiors and exteriors. And yeah, I've done this test sector already. It flies really nicely, handles to the figures and numbers quoted in the manual. So yeah, I'm really impressed so far. And yeah, I've got the pricing. Actually, it could be 30 quid, 29.99, which is very reasonable. Anyway, let's get started with the setup. Talk a little bit about the flight today as well. So let me bring up Navigraph. Here we are in Nepal. That's the world map. So north of India. Here's all the Himalayas, the mountains, and our flight to Lukla is going to take about 30 minutes. It's a very short sector. We're not flying any sort of routing, but I did a bit of research in preparation for this stream, and VATSIM Nepal actually have some information regarding this flight. As Air Nepal actually fly Twin Otters from Kathmandu to Lukla in real life. Let me just find the document for you. There we are. So let me just... I can't remember how to bring up PDFs. No, that's Navigraph. This should be the PDF coming up. There we are. So I'll show you the manual that comes with it shortly. Here is from VATSIM Nepal, a book on this exact sector. This is flown by Air Nepal in real life. This is what we're following, and it's actually really useful. So this is the routing we're going to fly. I would be using the VOR as suggested, but unfortunately there's a little bug where flying outbound from a VOR in this aircraft at the moment, the CDI deviation doesn't work correctly, so it's impossible to navigate, but we could use GPS. Talks about the sector. We're going to fly at 10,000 feet in hopefully VFR, and aircraft equipped with GPS will fly this routing via these two little airstrips. And it talks about the final approach procedure, where you need to fly. The visual manoeuvre, we'll brief this en route, so we're familiar. The aiming point before turning final, and then talks about once you're committed to land, you can't go around. That's it. So it's a pretty dangerous approach, because you'll see it's nestled in mountains. Once you're over the threshold, going around is impossible. You have to land. There's no which way about it. There's in case of missed approach. At this point, you could do that, but missed approach after committal on final approach beyond the aiming point is not recommended. AKA you'll fly to the side of the mountain. So yeah, really nice document. If you go on VATSIM Nepal, you can read this little handbook, and it's really useful. Also included with the Aerosoft Twin Otter is this very comprehensive manual, 155 pages. Again, it's not complete yet. You'll see there's lots of yellow highlighted parts. I've not finished it, and it's amazing, really detailed. They've got pictures from the real aircraft and the simulator. They've got test flights you can do, sectors talking about all the various systems, which I believe are modelled to a degree. You know, it goes on and on and on. There's some of the test flights you can do. different attitudes, got emergency procedures, how to fly it. It's quite comprehensive, very impressed. There's performance and pitch power settings, really nice. And this isn't even finished yet, so it comes with lots of information for you to learn how to fly the Twin Otter. Oh yeah, wait, there is a missed approach procedure. Yeah, as I said, we would get away with doing it a short final. But anyway, that's some of the stuff which comes with the aircraft. It's quite a comprehensive package. Very impressed with all the stuff that's included. So yeah, that's our sector. Let's pop off the flight controls. So I think if you do this, you can hear them getting stowed. It's always quite a lot of noise there. It's yes, Nepal. Oh, guys, I got it. It's definitely. Is it Lukla though? Lukla. Oh dear. So anyway, we've stowed the flight controls. We're going to follow the checklist which has been incorporated into Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is pretty cool. Microsoft Flight Simulator. If you push the little eye icon in any aircraft at the moment, it doesn't actually show you where it is anymore, which is a bit of a pain, so I had to sort of learn my way around the cockpit, but it's pretty simple. So control lock is away, so we could tick that. Parking brake is set, so that's down here. It's already set, so we'll tick that. Power lever check idle, so all the engine controls on the Twin Otter are up here on the roof, which I might imagine my arm getting sore after a while, but there we are. Throttles here, we'll make sure that's at idle, so that's checked. Idle control lever is here. I think these are the fuel control levers, I'm not 100% sure, but they're at cut-off. They're the only things that have a cut-off item. Outside air temperature, below 10 or above 10. Right now it is 10 degrees, so we'll say it's just 10 degrees or higher. If that's the case, prop levers fully forward, which I have assigned to a button on my joystick. So fully forward, we'll tick that item. Starter switch verify off, which it is. Ignition's off at this stage. Generators are off. Auxiliary fuel pumps are off. Landing lights are off. Annunciators test. Now, interestingly, you can't actually test them until you do the next step, which is battery master on, otherwise they don't work. So I'll put the battery masters on now, which is here. So that is the battery, we're not using external power. DC master switch. Many noises, the aircraft is alive. So now we'll do the annunciator test. We've got we've got fire detection test here. Excellent, many noises. And I think there's another annunciator test up here as well, if I can find it. There we are. That's the stall warning test and horn, and lots of other lights are meant to be checking as well. So that's, well, imagine that's done. Battery masters annunciations tested. Radios and avionics, they are all on. Flight plan should all be routed into the flight management computer. I don't like it when Microsoft Flight Simulator does this little time. They still haven't this is real pain. They still haven't fixed the bug where the
50,
mouse,
40,
my mouse cursor is
30,
disappearing again.
20,
I thought they would have fixed that
10.
by now. Oh, again, thank you.
Lukla, we're gonna have you speaking Nepali by the end of this stream. Smiley face.
Lukla. Amazing though. Thank you very much for the $5 and the donation. That's very kind. Lukla, Nepal. Thanks, buddy. Very kind of you to donate again and to highlight the case there. 1950s telephones and ship's horns in this bird, absolutely. You practically got an orchestra in there, brilliant. Nizo, is this coming to Xbox? I believe so. If you click, if you look at the video description, you'll find a link to the product by Aerosoft, and it does say Xbox compatible, so it looks like it's coming. So yeah, look, Microsoft Flight Simulator's mouse cursor bug is still here, so the quick way to fix it is to go outside and then back in. There you are, the mouse cursor reappears. So annoying. Radio avionics then are on. Fuel valve is open. Now I never actually found the fuel valve, but I did find if you don't put these on at this stage, I think these both go down. Or is it up? No, that one. There we are. Ah, no, which switches? One of these switches you have to push down, I think, prior to engine start, otherwise the engines won't start properly, so I'll leave it there for now, and if they don't start I'll flick those switches again. I could never actually find where the fuel valve was and where it was open, but the engines do seem to start with regards to not moving that switch anyway, so I presume it's open by default there. So we'll tick that item. Starting engines now, so let's do a few of our own checks before we start the engine. So we're going to be climbing up to 10,000 feet today for this first sector. So set 10,000 feet. The runway QDM here in Kathmandu. Just grab the aerodrome chart here. We're going to be taking off from runway, I think it's runway 20. Yeah, runway 20. So runway headings 202. You can conveniently hide this for a short while. So we'll put 202 on the CDI. So 202. We'll set the runway heading to 202 as well. We'll set the local QNH, which I can do pushing B. It should be 1020.
50,
1020. I think live weather
30,
seems to be okay in Microsoft
20,
Flight Simulator. It's very representative
10.
of the meta, at least, anyway. Thank you very much, Gulami, for the $2. He says, I should be working right now, but this is better. Thank you very much, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate the donation. Thank you very much for your generosity. And take care of yourself. Thank you very much. And don't get in trouble for not going to work there. So guys, yes, I will be online. I'm completely offline for this first sector. I will be going online for the return sector here to Kathmandu, which will be in about 45 minutes time. I'll be on the North Europe server there. Excellent. I think it was fixed last week of SU7. What the mouse bug, Felix? Well, I'm not on my SU7. Right, QNH is set, altitude set. Instruments are set as well. Before we start the engines, because I don't think it says to do this in the checklist. Oh, I do miss the views in Explain, but right, there we are. So generators leave off for now. Put the anti-collision light on, the position light on. No smoking and fasten seatbelt signs are on. Lighting's all set for now. Happy with that. I think we're all good to start the engine. So if we go outside, we should see the beacon light flashing, and we call clear prop as well. So turboprop engines. Let's hope I don't overheat these or break them, but fuel shut-off valve is now open. So again, we've got fans. All these sounds work as well. It's really cool. So these are the fuel valves. I'm going to put those to fuel. Check the propeller area is clear. So we'll tick. Fuel pump needs to come on. I think, is it that one? No, that's off, it's already on, that's fine. So, propeller area clear, starter switch on, so starter switch is up here. These are all on both. I think you just simply move the switch. I think when it says starter switch on, I think it just means start engines 1 and 2. So, we'll start engine number 2 first. I might have to turn the sounds down slightly in Microsoft Flight Simulator a second, so we'll give it a try. There we are, it's doing things and making noises. So ignition's on, oil pressure check indication. So there we are, oil pressure's rising. NG minimum 12%, so it's increasing. Now it says NG, but it says GG here, so we've got that. And then idle control lever low idle to put the fuel in now. No, it's doing. I did this earlier. I don't know. Sometimes I'm missing out a step sometimes, I think, and it's causing the engine's not to start properly. Let me just try one more time. No. I did this earlier and I have no idea why. Unless I've missed something. Have I got enough fuel in the tanks? Yeah, I've got plenty of fuel. I did this earlier, guys, and I was absolutely stuck, and then I repeated it, and it was absolutely fine the second time. I've done all the steps. I'm not doing Control E. So fuel in, but it just doesn't start, and I feel like I've missed a step. Aft cargo. These are doors. These are the auxiliary tanks. We don't have any fuel in here. So fuel, ignition. Is it these switches? No, they're on both. Fuel's it. We've got fuel, ignition. Standby boost pumps. Do I have to turn those on? No. The ignition switches aren't on. Let's have a look here. So we've got the ignition in normal. And they're on both. Uh-oh. wish it would blow up. Well, it probably would do if you left it in just turning over like this. What have I done? I don't understand. I've definitely done something. I've missed out a step. I've got all the... Oh. Okay. So, engine off. Okay. Alright, I had those switches in the wrong position. Read the instruction book. I did. But there we are. Sounds like things have finally started. Oof, I can stop sweating now. ITT will monitor during the startup. So the engine's going to accelerate now. That was close. Low idle RPM, NG 46% or greater, so it is increasing, it's about 46%, and then start a switch off, but we need to start engine number 1 first. Second, sorry. So let's do that now. Left. So I don't know if that actually gets the prop spinning.
40.
Thank you very
30,
much, Jonathan Wilshire. There
20,
it goes.
10.
So NG minimum 12%. Oh, I've lost my mouse cursor again.
Just been watching a program about competitive alpaca judging at a country show on the telly with Titch, smiley face.
Alan Titchmarsh is that. Excellent. Thank you very much, Jonathan Wilshire, for the £5. A competitive alpaca judging at a country show. Did not see me there. That's amazing. Thank you very much for the continued support as well, John. Appreciate that. Amazing. Oh, I presume this engine's starting. Yeah, it is. Look. So remember, guys, the sounds, they're okay, actually, to be fair, but they're not, not representative of what the final product will be. It's still in beta at this stage. Excellent. Alex, oh my god, I was about to watch the end of the yoke stream, and now you are streaming again. You're spoiling us. Oh, I'm very quiet at work. I'm next flying on Saturday. I haven't flown for about a week and a half, so very quiet at the moment. I hope the sounds are okay. I've turned the sounds for the sim right down now, but yeah, excellent. We're all good. We've got 2 good engine starts, most due to my lack of knowledge, a bit delayed getting there. But yeah, it's that little switch there down here. So actually, I thought the up arrow was not engine off, so I had that off there. Anyway, after engine start with GPU, that wasn't the case. We started on battery, so prop RPM lever fully forward, which it is. Generators on and checked, so you can see here the DC load. The battery's currently discharging, so we need to get the generators on. So if we do this and this, generators, where are they? On and on. There we are. You can see, look, very much charging the battery. DC load is now positive, so that's done. NG above 51%. It's at 52, so that's fine. Radio avionics already on. Sync the compass, so I think that's D and B, but we'll check it manually. Compass is here, showing a heading of about 250. And looking here, oh yeah. Yeah, because I've got the overhead camera view, I can't look down anymore. Guiding track IR. 250, so compass is fine. Attitude indicator is erected. So that's ticked to next 6 before taxi checklist. So we'll get the taxi lights on now. Looking over here on the overhead panel. So we'll put on. Where is that taxi light? Oh yeah, down here I think actually. Well, I'm going to actually put the pro window heat on this stage. So you got the landing lights here. That's my mouse cursor going again. But the taxi lights, I think, are up here on the overhead panel in a very random place. There we are, taxi light. It's not next to the landing light. There we go. Little twin otterism. There we go, all ready to go. So we'll release the brakes. Oh yeah, look, here's the parachute drop. So look, no go. You can see, look, the big red light on there. You can actually select the go or standby. There you are. So that's the parachutists would do to jump out. So they've got all these different configurations and quirks, which is really cool. Why is my rudder pedal bent? Anyway, parking brake released. There we are, on our way. There we go. This is the second time we've actually flown a Twin Otter in a live stream. We flew one in X-Plane, but I can't remember the dev's name. But yeah, nice to be in the sim. The weather is actually... Have they fixed live weather now? I saw it was a bit broken, but it seems to be really representative of the METAR, which I do know I can get up here now. So if I go weather METAR, show the local airport. So 6,000 metres, few at 1,500, scattered 3,000, broken at 100, 9 degrees, QNH is 1020. So it looks pretty representative of that. We'll keep an eye on the weather, because obviously this is the highest mountain range in the world. If the weather's like this in Lukla, there's no way that we'll be able to land. It'll be impossible. So we'll keep an eye on it. And yeah, even on this sector, we're going to be cruising at 10,000 feet. We're already below the MSA for most of the flight. On the test sector, we got quite close to terrain at 10,000 en route. So we'll see how we get on. We're just going to hold here at Alpha before we take off on runway 20. Pack. So guys, yeah, a lot of people asking about multiplayer group flight. If you look at the video description, if you ever know what my intentions are during a stream, they're always in the video description. The first flight here, we're going from Kathmandu to Lukla. This will take about 35 minutes. And then on the return flight, I will go online on Microsoft Flight Simulator server, so you can all join me in hopefully a similar aircraft to this. Don't go in your 747s inverted. And we're going to fly the circling approach back in here. We're going to do a proper VOR circling approach. And you guys can probably follow me on the instrument approach, which is pretty cool. Right, so we're here at Alpha. We're going to do the before takeoff checklist now. Now, if you wish, you don't have to, but the document, let me just bring up the PDF that's included with the aircraft here. It has like a full checklist right at the bottom, including how to do all the power checks, all these individual things, just to save a bit of time. You know, I'm not going to do that today, but it has a much more comprehensive checklist, which could perhaps be, or might be, incorporated into this checklist at a later date. But I'm just going to imagine we've done the power checks. We'll stick with the checklist in Microsoft Flight Simulator, just to keep the show on the road and stuff. But yeah, it's a very good detailed handbook. So before taxi, passengers are secure. Landing lights, we'll put those on now because we're about to take off anyway. So tick, 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 taxi, parking brake release, brakes are definitely working. Before takeoff, so stab trim is set, flaps set for takeoff, so we're going to use flap 10. We're following the standard sort of takeoff profile for the Twin Otter at this gross weight, so we'll set takeoff power, rotate at 75 knots, we'll then retract flaps at about 400 feet AGL, which would be at 4,800, and we're going to fly at VY today, best rated climb speed, which is 100 knots, and we'll reduce the RPM to 90% with climb power, and then we'll climb up to 10,000. So flaps are set for takeoff, flight controls free and full travel, so let's bring them up again. So let's check the elevator and rudder. I'll show you when we line up. The tiller's modelled as well, so you can actually turn the aircraft. You'll see the tiller moving, which is excellent. I did do everything. Rudder, pitch, rudder, and roll. That's good. Altimeter's set. Fuel quantity checked. We've got plenty of fuel. I think the main tanks were almost full, so we've got loads of gas. That's done. Auxiliary fuel pump is on. Is that the aux one? Yeah, I think they're on now. No, it's off. No, it's forward all the way up. It's on. Forward boost. Anti-ice as required. So probe and window heat. Just going to verify that's on at this stage. So probe heat is on and pitot heat is on. Propeller de-ice isn't required. Strobe lights. I can't find the switch for that at all. I spent ages doing it earlier, but that's on. Oil temperature in the green. So oil temperature is, and the pressure is looking good as well. Flight instruments are checked, heating's off, idle control, high idle, and then we're ready for takeoff. So, a little bit about the departure again. We're going to be VFR today. We're going to climb straight ahead until we get to around 10,000 feet, until Microsoft Flight Simulator starts routing to the next waypoint. I might just update that manually. We're having to use GPS on the first sector. I'll explain why later. We'll get the VOR tuned, and the CDI at the moment is a bit broken. Remember, this aircraft is in beta, and the indications when flying outbound from a VOR weren't correct, so we're using GPS for the first one. Right, so takeoff power 47 psi we'll set here. Monitor ITT, NG and MP, and then we'll just release the brakes and go. We'll look at the checks later. So, Toga's in chat. The flight should be about 30 minutes. Parking brake is released, and we'll line up on the runway. You can Use the eyeballs on the right of the checklist to help find that stuff. Yeah, Monty Pilot is broken. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's a Microsoft Flight Simulator thing. So if I press the eye, look, it doesn't work. It doesn't work in any of the default aircraft either. Not in my version of Microsoft Flight Simulator, anyway. Excuse me. So remember, guys, don't be shocked. The sounds aren't 100% yet. I've been assured that on the final version. Oh, there, look at the tiller, look. See how the tiller on the thing moves when I use the rudder? That's excellent. As I said, the sounds aren't finished yet on this product, so don't be alarmed if they sound a bit, ooh, that's a bit weird. It will do on the final one. It does sound a bit funny, just as we climb out, especially when you're setting takeoff power, but rest assured it will be fine when it's released next week. Anyway, let's go for the first ever time. What is that noise? First ever time to Lukla. So, brakes released, and we're set takeoff power. There we are. A little bit too much there, need about 47 psi. There we go. Takeoff, thrust is set, indications normal. Airspeeds are live, rotating at 75 knots. There's 75, rotate. And we're airborne. Positive climb, gear up. Joking, of course. We're just going to wait until 4,800 feet. Look at this weather. I hope it improves. Right, flaps coming up, and now we're just going to pitch for 100 knots. There we go. Now trimming. Just going to maintain runway heading until we get the command on the GPS to turn left. Reduce the RPM to 90%. There we are, 90%. Then complete the after takeoff checklist. So en route climb, flaps retracted. Aux fuel pump can come off, which is down here. Oh no, that's a fuel pump. I think that's the boost pump. Well, we'll leave those on. Air cooler, oil cooler adjusted. Landing lights, leave them on. ITT max 695. It's about 600, so that's fine. That's it. After takeoff checklist complete. Still not. No, it's commanded the left turn now, so we're going to make a left turn. We'll switch this from VLOC to GPS. Just going to continue climbing. I'm meant to be doing 100 knots here. Now, so I'm just pitching up a little bit more just to get to 100 knots, which is our best rate of climb speed. Just going to follow the CDI. I'm not sure how to get the flight directors to turn off when you're not using them, but if I select nav, that's going to give us what we want, at least for a roll. There we are, so flying in the right direction. There's 100 knots. I'm just going to turn off nav. No, I'm just going to ignore the flight directors. So there's 8,000. You can see how, let's pop outside, see how close we are to the terrain. Thankfully it's quite low level mist. Sim does look beautiful. Every time I jump into this sim, I'm always like, wow, looks absolutely stunning. Just hope the weather improves. We want to stay on live weather if we can. Otherwise, I guess if the clouds were like this, we would never even attempt the approach. So we're under VFR rules as well. 1 to go. There's my mouse cursor gone again. So level off at 10,000 feet. So I'm sort of following the course deviation indicator here. Look, it's showing us nearly on our GPS track. Once that's aligned, I'll turn on route. Oh, there's 10,000. I'm so getting track IR, guys. I think in this sim it'll be amazing in this aircraft as well. Right, I've ballooned slightly, so we're going to start reducing power to our cruise power setting, which is 45 inches. Well, 45 torque. There we are, and we reduced the RPM pretty much all the way back until we got 75% RPM. There we are. So cruise RPM is set 75%. We're trimming nose down. Now we're on our GPS track now, so we'll make a right turn en route. Beautiful. It looks absolutely stunning out there. A little bit of light turbulence at the moment. So we're all trimmed down at about 145 knots at 10,000 feet. Use a little bit of automation. There we are. So autopilot's engaged. Nav out, hold. So I think it's just going to make a bit of a left turn here, just to tidy up the nav routing. But we're nearly en route. There we are. There's an actual approach for Lukla. No, it's all visual, but there's a kind of like approach guidance on how to accurately fly there. It's just tidying up the 10,000, so you can see the autopilot making trim inputs. Look. There we are. This is borderline VMC. I'm just going to try and stay out of the clouds, guys. Saga, hey, that's the route we fly. Very good. Are you a Twin Otter pilot by any chance? Could do with your help. Why is that levelled off at 10,100? Let me just check. It's definitely saying 10,000, but we should be there in 33 minutes, look. And that's routing inbound to our first waypoint, which is Victor November, Romeo Charlie. And again, I'll highlight the... although it doesn't look like it, but we should be going there and left. And this is the actual routing flown, I think, by Nepal Airways and their Twin Otter, according to VATSIM Nepal anyway. I'm on autopilot now, just engaged in Pag as we fly in and out of this weather. I've never flown to Lukla, Kiel. 10,000 is just, well, we're way below the minimum safety height here. Let me just bring up the charts here. So the grid mora for this sector is 16,700. We're at 10,000. Look at here, 29,000, 31,000. Well, that's where Mount Everest is. So that's the highest grid mora in the world, probably. So yeah, we have no approach chart, but as we're so close to our destination already, let's have a look at the Lukla handbook on how to land here. Shouldn't this be IFR? Oh, we're okay, Vanguard. We still have more than 5,000 metres, and in and out the cloud shouldn't be really, but you know this is fine. You can still fly VFR in this. Just got to stay out of the clouds. But yeah, you can't fly. It's impossible to fly IFR, or there's no instrument approaches into Lukla. You need to be visual. So Lukla, world's hardest approach, possibly. All right, so. VATSIM Nepal have an excellent handbook, as I very briefly showed at the start of the stream. I hope how's the sound, guys? Can you hear me okay? We will be flying from this approach here, the final approach procedure, based off the guidance in this particular manual, and we will go. This is the routing. This is the exact routing we're flying. So Lukla is situated at 9,300 feet. Surrounded by mountains, hence only VFR flight operations are possible in and out of the airfield. However, Kathmandu VOR can be used as reference to ensure accurate flight path until visual reference to the airfield is obtained. So, if I close this, we can actually try and tune that VOR, but just to show you how it's not working flying outbound. So if we tune up the Kathmandu VOR, which is 13.2, so two things, okay, 13.2. Number one most annoying thing is distance. It's in nautical miles, great, but it only increases in 1 nautical mile increments. Now you'll see later when we're going to fly the VOR circling approach, there we go, 17. It's impossible to fly it because some of the step down points are at 17.5 miles. It should be to the nearest 0.1 increment. I don't know if that's a Microsoft Flight Simulator GNS 530 thing or a Twin Otter thing with this add-on, but the 17 nautical mile thing is an 18 whole nautical mile change is a bit of a pain. Secondly, if I just switch to heading select briefly, just match the heading here, just also make sure I'm not flying into the side of a mountain. Hold Looks okay for now. I'm just going to briefly go to heading select. Now if I switch from GPS to CDI and match up the CDI, look what happens. Look, we're already established sort of outbound on the VOR, but look, it's showing a full right indication, and then all of a sudden, ping, full left. Full right, full left, so that's broken. Now if you go in the opposite way to the beacon, the CDI deviation is perfect, works absolutely fine. So again, as I must stress, Aerosoft has said this version is in beta, it's still not final. I'm going to let them know that the CDI VOR navigation flying outbound from a beacon isn't working. You can see the arrows pointing to it, so if you want to route to a beacon, no problem at all. But flying from a beacon, at the moment, it is broken. It just seems to go from full left to full right scale deflection. So that's why, for this sector, otherwise I'd be going old school VOR today, we're on GPS. So GPS, fine, no problem, and we can re-engage nav. But on the way back, we'll use the VOR, which is something there. Andre, many VORs don't work in flights in 2020, they just give DME. Well, the VOR's working. Again, it might be unique to Kathmandu, to be fair. I've not actually tried any other VORs, but I think it's only only on outbound radials, but the actual DME is fine. The DME distance is fine, the VOR's been detected. Look, it knows what radial we're on, 115, and the distance, it's just the HSI isn't displaying that correctly. Anyway, let's carry on with the rest of that briefing. So we are essentially flying the GPS routing today. So we're already on this sector towards that first waypoint, which you can see here, and then we're going to make that next waypoint now. I just copied this into the Microsoft Flight Sim Flight Planner, which is pretty cool. And this is the actual routing flown by Air Nepal. This talks about the headings and radials to fly. We're just doing it with the GPS routing, which is identical anyway. So we're routing right now to a little strip called Victor November Romeo Charlie, then Victor November Lima Delta, and then northbound to Victor November Lima Kilo, 10,000 feet or above. So when we get to Victor November, whatever that one was, Victor November Lima Delta, which is here, we're going to make a turn northbound and then fly down the valley towards Lukla, and this is sort of the visual reference they give you. So the final approach procedure is depicted below. So essentially, flying along the valley, you've got to be VFR and VMC here. If you're IMC, you're a dead man or lady. You're never going to. I should think when they turn, they do fly this routing in reality, they probably get to that point where they turn left and look, go, nope, can't do it, or look and go, yeah, that's fine, and then commit. Because if you get to IMC down here, you're in a really tricky situation. You've got mountains either side of you. Anyway, we'll hopefully be visual. If we're not, I'll have to turn live weather off because I want to fly this approach today. I think we might just be okay if it stays like this. We're going to fly northbound through the valley, keeping VFR, staying VFR, and away from the mountains. And we have a little aiming point which is on the side of this hill, and obviously being Microsoft Flight Simulator, and this area I think has received some special attention. It is very well depicted, so we're going to fly towards this point, and it is difficult to spot the airfield, and I think there's snow there at the moment with the elevation, so it's all going to be covered in snow. You can see Lukla at around where we are at that point there, but I have got the GPS overlay to help back it all up. And that's it. 10,000. The elevation's only 9,300 feet, so we're only 700 feet above the airfield elevation right now. We'll just simply step down to 9,500 and land. And that's it. Missed approach, you can only do it at a certain point, but once you're actually committed to land, that's it. You know, if you're half a mile on the extended sense line, you can't really go around. You have to land. There's no other option. So that's it. That's all the guidance I get. Just follow this as close as possible and go from there. So I'll get rid of that for now. Welcome. Speeds we're going to fly then. We'll fly the normal speeds. We've got it all configured for the cruise here. So we've got 75% RPM, 45 torque. Landing, you've got 2 flap settings for landing. I don't know if you have any Twin Otter experts here. I see flap 20 sort of like the main landing flap, and that's a VREF around 80 knots. You have full flaps where the VREF is 74 knots, but I don't know because of this elevation whether that's a good idea or not. I don't know if the air's it might be not as dense as it too too not dense enough. Sorry, for that, because our indicated airspeed is obviously under reading compared to our true airspeed. So I'm not sure what would be the correct flap setting to use here. I am going to use full flap. Maybe they use flap 20, but yeah, that's it. That's the approach briefing complete. Oh, Matthias, Lukla, flap 20. Thank you very much. I'll go with that then. Flap 20 with a VREF of 80 knots. Now you have different VREFs for different weights. We're quite heavy. I say not that heavy. I haven't got a full fuel load, but our parachutists have decided not to jump out. They want to stay on the aircraft today. So we've got all that simulated weight in here. And we'll go from there. Lolo, how much is Flight Deck Sims BC? I bought it recently. All these specs in here with the 3080 and the new i12 processor is about 2,700 as well. Okay, so I've got one person saying use flap 20. I have one person saying use full flaps at 70 knots. Okay. Misinformation. Cool. I don't know. 20 or 40. I've got 2 bits of information. Ooh. So yeah, we've got to obviously keep an eye out the window at all times here, because look, this is really not the nicest of weather. Coming into a bit of patch of cloud here as well, and the mountains here are well above our present height. That's crazy. Use no flaps. Lolo, Twin Otter has brilliant braking. Got to be careful here, because it's uphill this runway. We're like Courchevel, so if you brake too early, you probably won't get up here quick enough. Nizo, I am a real Twin Otter pilot, and we don't use flaps. What, in Lukla? Nizo, really? I have one. I've had everything. I've had no flaps. Flap 20, flap 40. Dave Ward's a video on YouTube of someone in real life doing a go around skimming the roofs. I think I've seen that video. Yeah, so I think he probably went around at the last possible opportunity. So if you're over the runway, there's no way you can. Torlai, go with your instinct for flaps. Actually, talking about instinct and the Force, when you disconnect the autopilot, it sounds like it came straight from a Star Wars movie. Listen to this. Out hold nav. Oh dear. Alright, I'm a real Twin Otter pilot and we don't use wings. Oh dear. Imagine aborted takeoff. Yeah, oof, imagine. Barely flight stopping, guys. Yup, I'm stupid. So excited to finally pull the trigger on the Bravo throttle as well to go along with the yoke. Should get there just in time. With this bad Mamba Jamba release, I'm guessing you're referring to the TCA yoke. That stream proved very popular. The last stream we did with the yoke cam. It's not on today. You'll be pleased to hear. Jacob, read the chats from In Real Life Pilot of Lukla. Which one? We have several people claiming to land at Lukla. Oh dear, full flops. Unbelievable. But yeah, what a mega approach. 20 minutes to go anyway. And let's pop outside. I need to turn the sound down though if I do that. Excellent. Don't forget the return sector. I'll come online. You can join me in formation. Flat full. I'm getting the majority of people saying flat full. Sagard, DO-28 pilot, but I know the Twin Otter procedure also. Excellent. I'm getting the gist that it should be full flaps. Oh, well, flap 20 I was told is the default flap setting. Beautiful. Yeah, it's great to be in the sim and it runs beautifully on my PC. The FPS is mega. Pro streamer audio controls there. So, excuse my lack of Nepal knowledge, I don't know exactly where we are, but the scenery is very dramatic, but you can see the Himalayas there, look. Beautiful. Just landed inverted. Cheers, Jakey. Cheers, Lauren. We are overhead. Pronunciation nation here. We're about to fly over Sanguta and Narman Deshwa. Beautiful. If you want to see said places, there they are. Eric, can I ask your graphic settings? I have not everything on Ultra, it's all on high end. I think it'd work okay on Ultra. Why if it looks great on high, why not? Just use your spare resources. Uda series, can I jump out now? Yes, I can actually control that in this particular aircraft. So, if there's any parachutists, let's get you to stand by. There you go. There's the amber light. It's really cool. And then you can get them all to jump as well. It's a nice little touch, isn't it? There you go. Cool. So yeah, this is just one variant available from Aerosoft. The other variants are, well, you can look on YouTube. There's quite a few people that have got an early access to the beta there, so you can see there's a float version, a tundra version. They all have different liveries, different innards, and cargo. The cargo variant has a big box here loaded in, which is pretty cool. It's very nice. Open the skydiver door. I don't know how to, Matthias. I did try earlier. You can open this door. Doesn't change the audio much, and also you wouldn't be able to open it like that. So yeah, I guess you can. I just don't. Oh, you can. There you go. Door's open. Oh, look at that! Aeroplanes are not made to be jumped out of, guys. Very cool. Yeah, it's really nice. I think they've done a good job. Oh, I can't close it now. Genuinely, I can't close it. Alright, well, might be not a bad thing. Oh, there it goes. A bit delayed. Superb. Better look like better look where we're going. 16 minutes to go. Yeah, so Matthias Koch, yeah, please be aware that this version is not reflective of the final product, and one thing Aerosoft wanted to really highlight was that the sounds are not all inserted yet in this aircraft, so it's still in beta. This is not reflective of what will be released. So sounds, there's a few sound issues still. Aaron, your gear extended, are you joking? Oh yeah, Domino Mosina, don't jump until you, unless you're a YouTuber making content for the viewers. Yeah, what do is it Trevor Jacob? Yeah, this aircraft is perfect for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Low and slow, you can go and explore some sort of really cool, do some great bush flying from this, because the performance is amazing. And this is what I love about this sim so much. It's the freaking world. The world is here. I don't have to do anything, I've just jumped in. We're over in Nepal, pretty much exactly as it looks like in real life. Look at the Himalayas over
50,
there as well.
40,
superb.
30, 20, 10.
Thank you, Pilot 20, for your pound donation. He says, I think theoretically the 146 can land here. How are you? How is life? Just watch your videos, how to finish flight school and get a job. There are no videos like that. Thanks for the pound, Pilot 20. A 146 can land here. Theoretically, I mean, yeah, I guess it could. I wouldn't want to try it. The approach speed's what? Empty, probably 30-40 knots quicker than this. Yeah, no thanks. Thank you for your donation. Good luck watching your videos on flight school. Best of luck to you, sir. Astro, I'm thinking, I'm looking forward to flying the Twin Otter in the Scottish Highlands and Isles. Very good, yeah. But actually, when we did our first Twin Otter stream and X-Plane, we did Glasgow to Barra, which is quite cool. And Barra's been modelled quite well in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's like a custom airport. But I've done it already. I think it's been flown to death on YouTube already. Where, I mean, to be fair, Lukla has as well, but I have never been and I've been sort of waiting for this aircraft or an aircraft like this to fly into Lukla. Anyway, but yeah, automation's all in. We've got our cruise power set, 70, actually got a little bit too much power there. We should have about 45 torque. There we are. So we've just reduced the power at 75% RPM. So basically the RPM prop lever is all the way, not feathered obviously, but quite far back to achieve that. I was quite shocked that it actually says that in the manual. Thanks for subscribing, Peter and Bloodfire. Welcome to stream. Lola, can you do a Shore to France stream? That'd be pretty cool. That's probably quite a popular VFR hop as well. Amazing. Lukla in 14 minutes, guys. If you missed the approach briefing, that was about 10 minutes ago. We're making a turn northbound, and I'll disconnect, start hand flying manually. Tail estimated landing time 13:50 plus slowing down, so about 16 minutes. Why does everyone call the Twin Otter twatter? I keep reading that and thinking Twitter. I've never heard it's referred to as a twatter before this stream. The real pilots call it a twatter.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Thank you very much, No Taka, for your $2 Canadian. That's very kind of you, sir. Welcome. Sometimes it's not reading that out. He says, hey man, just subbed. When is the plane coming out? Thank you very much. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Glad you enjoy the content. And this aircraft is coming out a week today. I think 19th of January. If you want to find out more about the Aerosoft Twin Otter, look in the video description. There's a link to the product there as well. And if you use the command !aircraft in chat, you'll get a link there too.
50,
thank you very
40,
much indeed.
30, 20, 10.
Oh, thank you again, Pilot 20 for the pound. Found job in Sweden. He says, you're flying lawyers on the Diamond. I think it's good for our building. Right, Pilot 20. So you're watching videos on how to finish your flight training school, but you're also found a job in Sweden flying lawyers on the DH-62. I think it's good for our building. Well, best of luck. I don't know if you are doing that right now. You're thinking of applying, but yeah, lawyers. My goodness, be careful. Cheers. Excellent. Gary, anyone know if it will be available in the marketplace in addition to the Aerosoft site? I don't know, I'm afraid, Gary. I downloaded it via Aerosoft's portal, sort of like you can download it and then they add it to my account. So, alarmingly, we are turning northbound very shortly, and I am looking in that direction, and it is cloudy, and there are mountains, the highest mountains in the world, to be more precise. I'm a little bit concerned, guys. We shall press on. Now, in real life, I wonder, I bet Twin Otter pilots make a decision at this stage before turning left. They'll probably look at that and go, okay, or look at that in reality and go, let's go back to Kathmandu. Oh dear. They said it was on Xbox ready, so yeah, it has to go on the marketplace. Yeah, Jake, of course, I didn't think about that. Boot of X-ray vision, oh, absolutely. So we don't really need to descend, guys. Remember, the elevation is 9,300 feet. We are 700 feet above aerodrome elevation already. We'll just step down to 9.5 as advised in the Nepal Lukla approach chart. We probably need I've not even thought about icing actually. I've got the P-turn window heat on, but flying in and out of clouds like this at this height would be utilising the de-icing boots and the prop de-icing for sure. I'm actually I don't know if it's modelled. I think it is, so I will put prop de-icing on and do the boots inflate. Oops. Looks like I don't actually have boots on. Actually, this view controls, man. This variant probably doesn't have any of it because it's a skydive version. Turn it all off anyway. James, what would you do en route in a 737 and your wing anti-ice fails and there's clouds and icing conditions over your destination? We try our best to avoid icing conditions where wing anti-ice is needed. Thankfully that's not that often. But yeah, it could, if moderate icing or severe icing was forecast, potentially involve a diversion. The MEL is quite restrictive for the engine and wing anti-ice usage, but in flight, obviously you're not bound by the MEL. Right, depends, still not decision-making time. Oh really? I've got an impression, Sagar, you know what you're talking about. Are you a Twin Otter pilot? Or still a bit, oh no. I don't like this one. We're going regardless today. But being on my head, if I obviously don't have the experience of flying this aircraft into this destination, but if I was flying this intending to land at Lukla, I'd have called it a day by now. I'd be going back to Kathmandu. Saga, you can descend to 8,500, enter the valley, then climb to 9,500 to capture the profile. Very interesting. I seem to be flying directly to the biggest cloud drawn in the game right now. Matthias, are you from Aerosoft? Sorry, I didn't realise that. I think I've actually seen your name up on the forum before, so welcome to the stream. I hope you're enjoying my preview, and thank you for whoever, I think it was your colleague that sent it over. I'm very impressed so far. It's great fun, although it probably could potentially be the first time I've crashed ever on a stream. No, Saga says I really need to start descending. Okay, well let's disconnect the autopilot. Actually, then I could probably go below the clouds here, so I'm going to take a bit of power off. I'll reset the RPM to max RPM. I sort of want to just duck below this cloud anyway. So you said I can go down to 8,500. I'll go to 9,000 to start with. Excellent. Matthias, I am the project manager for the aircraft. Very good. Did you see, Matthias, the issue I was having with the HSI flying from a VOR? I was going to let you know about that after the stream. Flying to a VOR, no problem whatsoever for the CDI. The indications are correct, but flying from a VOR, I'm getting incorrect indications on the CDI. Anyway, we've just descended below the elevation of Lukla, but that's actually helped out, because look at 9,000 feet, here's a little gap, and I can see we're going to level off at 9,000 here. Go towards the mountain edge just below the cloud. This is sketchy, guys. I don't like this. Saga, I can see the final ridge. You're good. Saga, thank you so much for your input today. It's been brilliant. Although it is getting more, new word for the channel, it's getting more IMC-ier. Oh no, it comes back to my view. God, this sim is so pretty. It's just great. 6 minutes to go. 9,000. This is live weather, by the way, guys. We're just 12 hours behind live time. Obviously, it's middle of night right now in Nepal. Oh, I can just see that gap. That's okay. So I'm actually going to go up again because I want to be at 9,500 really. And again, I'm really just, thank goodness for GPS. Going back up to 9.5. Turn that music down so I can concentrate a bit more. There's 9.5. 5 minutes to go. So just reduce the power again. I don't want to be going flat out at 150 knots. So is it left? I feel like I should be going left a bit. Yeah, I know, it's this way, isn't it? Yeah, it's just, there's the bridge I want to be flying down. Flying blind, this is very sketchy. We'll fly on the way back to Kathmandu. We're going to go online, but for those of you who want to take it seriously, if you go in an aircraft which is like the King Air or the Pilatus or something about the same speed as this, we're going to fly, we're going to go VFR out of here, and then we're going to actually join an arrival. We're going to fly a circling VOR approach with step down altitudes, which we'll need to do today because it's IMC. This is very marginal. Yeah, absolutely that is. So I'm going to stay at 9,500, which is the recommended altitude. We're at the same, just literally 200 feet above the elevation of Lukla. You must remember I don't fly this aircraft at all in real life. I'm going to quickly run the before landing checklist. Altimeter on push B. We are set. Fuel sufficient. I haven't turned the pumps off. Ignition's on. High idle. We're already at high max RPM. Flaps all set. Elevator trim all set. Lights are already on. And it's just the after landing checklist. So we're going to. Sorry, I really want that input from whoever it was here. Flaps. What flaps are we going in here to look like? Because I've been told everything. Flaps up. Flaps 20. Flaps 37.5. I've been told everything. Look at how it transitions to snow as well. That is so epic. Yeah, I'm going to be at 9,500 here. Sorry about my view jumping up and down here, guys. Just getting back up to 9.5. We're literally 4 minutes away. Well, we're in the clear though. Oh wow, beautiful, absolutely stunning. Trimming nose up at the moment, maintain 9,500 feet as you slow down. Final flap, Sagar, I'm going with you. Start configuring as you enter the valley and then final flap. So I need to be below, for flap 10, 103 knots, guys. So that's the first flap setting. So to keep bringing the speed back, still quite far away. Just about, going to maintain about 105 knots just for a short while. Up. Is there a way of turning off the flight directors if you're not using them as well? I've deselected all the modes, so there we are. So it's about 110 knots. Obviously, we've increased our ETA 4 minutes. We're entering the valley now. Fly slightly left to make a longer final. Thanks, Sagar. So to maintain 9,500 feet. Beautiful. This is mega. This is the most difficult approach ever. I've got to nail this. I cannot mess this up. This is where track IR is useful, and I think Lukla should be coming to view around there shortly. In fact, I think I just see it. Yeah, that's it. So I'm just going to fly out here for a little bit longer. I'll start slowing down and selecting flaps again. Just want to maintain 9,500. But we'll go around right. If you had a double engine failure right now, yeah, I wouldn't even think about that, but yeah, just try and go down and land as soon as possible. Right, I'm going to turn final now. I'm also going to, we're below 103 knots, or not quite, so I'm just going to bring that speed back a little bit further. So there's 103 knots, flaps to 10, and I've got to be below 93 knots before I select any more flaps. What on earth is that sound? And then the airport should be, if I increase the zoom here, just on a little bit left, a little bit right. I feel like I've gone too far left. Descending as well. Don't descend. I want to be at 9.5. Just lost sight of the aerodrome, but it's just around this hill here. There we are, back to 9.5. I'm going to be a little bit stricter with myself here, my altitude keeping. Just going to maintain this speed for a short while. I just can't get the view that I'm happy with either. A bit fast. Just going to bring that speed back to 90 knots now. It's the hydraulic flap tracks. Ah. Pray to your assigned deity. Look at that. Ye of little faith. I can see the airport. There's the airport, guys. Just here. So 9,500 feet, 100 knots. Again, just don't want to be going above 103. Let's bring the flaps to 20. I'm going to bring the speed down to about 85 knots now. I'm going to get nice and slow, nice and early. Let's maintain 9,500. this is mega. What an aircraft as well to bring here. There's flaps 20. Ooh, it's a little... Ooh, no, way too fast. I'm meant to be below 93 knots. There we are. Quickly fix that. Yeah, so 93 knots is the maximum speed if you want to go flaps greater than 10. So there's 85 knots. Still about 2 minutes away, guys. Again, just watching my heights. Don't want to be descending yet. There we go. Right, that's the music all off now. So I'm going to stay, hug the valley a little bit to the left, so I give myself a, like, as advised, along the front. Why do I keep descending 100 feet? My goodness, good job this isn't my IFR test flight. Oh, track high, I need track high, so I can just look at this beautiful scenery more than anything. Keeping the speed a bit high, right, I'm going to go to flat. No, I should keep flat where I am. I'm going to slow right down to 80 knots now. There's the airport, the runway. So it can be quite easy to get too low too early here. Have a nice landing, thanks. So I'm not worried about 9,500 now. I've sort of started a very well. No, I don't want to go any lower than that because that is the elevation. The elevation, remember, is 9,000. I am at the elevation of the airfield. Remember, the runway's a little bit below that. So we are turning final now. I need to start slowing down. Remember, I was told to go full flaps. I'm going to fly a VRF of 75. So just wait until the speed comes a little bit lower. It's 80 knots. We're on final now. Add a bit of power. Many noises. Too much speed, too much speed. Right, full flap. A little bit off the centre line there. Let's bring the speed back to 75 knots. There we go. Looking okay. A little bit. Yes, disregard. We're a little bit off centre line, but speed's okay. A little bit low. Actually, no, that's good speed. 75 knots. Keeping it 75 now. I'm committed. There's no way you can go around now. There we are. I'll close the power as soon as I start pitching up. Here we go. I'm committed. Minimums. Right, cut the power. And in the flare. Oh, what a butter. It's down. Right, I'm actually going to add power because I don't want to stop. We're down, ladies and gentlemen. What an approach. Oh. Break now. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lukla for the first ever time. Savage. Amazing. Flaps coming up. Oh, the fuel truck's already here. Tenzing Hillary Airport. My oh my. Right, let's get it parked up. Look at the snow. Look at the scenery. That was absolutely sensational. I don't want to hit the wing now on any of these bits. Why my brakes not working? I've got full brakes on. And I've hit my wing, ladies and gentlemen, on the brick wall. It was going so well. I had my brakes on. It wasn't going. This is... Oh, God. No. Oh, I ruined it. Let's try it again. I was doing so well. There we are, though. Professional. Where's my wing walker when I need him? I know why, because I was in that spot view where it doesn't actually work. Anyway, well, imagine that didn't happen. There we are, all parked up. What a professional. Parking brake set. Beautifully straight and on the line. 0 to 0, I know. No one died, just the wings missing. Right, let's complete the checklist. After landing, trim set, idle control lever, low idle. I don't actually know what that is. I mean, you have the fuel control lever, but that will obviously cut the engine, cut the fuel from the engine, so the engines will turn off. I can't say any other lever. I don't know if that's something else. We don't have a tail wheel variant. Oh, tail wheel variant in a Twin Otter. This can't be the right checklist. Flaps up, ignition off. Well, let's just do our own thing. I don't think that checklist is right. Right, ignition's off. We'll cut the fuel now. RPM should be probably all the way back as well. Maybe even feathered prior to shutting the engines off. But there's the fuel cut off. Looking good. I think they'll go off any second. I'll turn these switches off as well. more fuel off, because it sounds like the engines are still running, but remember, this is not a completely finished product. Lights will come off any second. There we go. Amazing. It was, it's the prop lever. Ah, that's what it's referring to. Ah, okay then, fair enough, to idle. Alright then. Amazing. What a flight. That was mega. Really enjoyed that. First ever time coming into Lukla on a stream in the Twin Otter. I was really happy with the approach. I was getting some great expert advice from some of the people in chat here who I think know what they're doing. So really, really cool. We're not even finished yet. We're now going to do the return sector to Kathmandu, and I'm going to jump online, guys. So I'll put you to the Be Right Back screen. We're going to talk about the return sector, and also get your Navigraph charts out if you have Navigraph, because we're going to take off, fly directly southbound. Let me get Navigraph up for you. And when we go back to Kathmandu, it's just very convenient. This we'll be flying in this exact direction for the VOR Bravo Circling Approach. So we're going to take off southbound. We'll talk about this shortly. Get your charts out. Study this chart up, guys, because we're going to fly this onto runway 02, live weather, and we might only just get in because the RVR we need for this approach is 3,700 meters, and the RVR is dropping very quickly. We're left with 6,000 meters. So I'll be online for the return sector. I'll teach you how to fly one of these in whatever aircraft you want. Hopefully you'll be able to do it in your Twin Otter soon. And I'll be back in about 5 or 6 minutes. What server? North Europe server, Will Charrington. See you shortly, guys. Thanks for the intermission, guys. I'm all back. Look at you all here. Great aircraft you've all chosen. The Caravan, very suitable for joining me. We're going to be doing some instrument flying today. I just wanted to show you that view. I mean, Microsoft Flight Simulator isn't my preferred sim. I still prefer X-Plane 11 with regards to how aircraft handle. But flying aircraft like the Twin Otter, a GA aircraft, is in scenery like this is unbeatable. You can't get better. Look at this. It's absolutely stunning. I mean, look at this. I mean, just breathtaking. Live weather again. I just loaded it up here and back in here and just looked at the sun with the lens flare and I was like, wow. Those 747s, I know, unbelievably so, John. Absolutely crazy, isn't it? Just turn the sound down there. So yeah, great. Thanks everyone that's joining me. I'm all on the runway ready to go. What we're going to do is take off straight off here from Lukla, runway 24. We're going to head southbound. And then we're going to intercept the 285 inbound, keep heading south until we go to Kathmandu 285. We're going to fly the VOR approach, the circling approach in there. Flight time about 35 minutes or so. So you can fly formation or follow the chart. We should all be doing the same thing. Yeah, really looking forward to it. Thank you so much for having some guys join as well. So we'll jump on into the cockpit again. I'm lining up as well. There we are. Poof. Just like that. There we are. Oh, flawless. That's it. So I've got everything configured, ready to go. We're going to go up to 15,500. I think that was a suggestion from what's his name in chat. I keep forgetting your name. I think he actually flies this very aircraft, and that's the height he said to go here. That'd be quite interesting because I don't have oxygen, and that's quite high. And this aircraft's obviously non-pressurized, so well, certainly the parachute variant. So yeah, we might get a little bit hypoxic. We've got oxygen masks on, and we'll actually no. I'm going to go to 13.5, and that won't be quite as bad. Still, that would be too high in reality for us. But anyway, 30,500, and we might as well get going. I just need the flaps for takeoff, which I've already set. Sorry, flap 10, and we are all good to go. So I'll release the parking brake. We'll get the togas in chat. I'm just going to hold on the brakes. In fact, I just want to taxi forward. So I might just set the parking brake. No, that's all good. Parking brake is definitely released. So we're just going to go off the end of the runway, basically, and then rotate at 75 knots. So I just want to get over that crest. Oh, look at that. And full power, 45 inches or whatever it is. That'll do for us. So we're just going to wait for 75 knots. Absolutely crazy. There we are, 75 knots. Rotate. Now we're off the end. Amazing. Too low flaps. Got flap 10. That's okay. I probably think I'm landing. Absolutely crazy. What a crazy airport. See some of you are taking off behind as well. Excellent. Right, we're going to reduce the RPM to 90% again. And we'll track the flaps as well. There we are. So there's about 90, a little bit more. There we go. And we'll set for the climb about 45 inches. And we're going to head directly southbound, guys, until we've picked up this radial. So you see the VOR, I have the CDI tuned. We're going to intercept the, I think it's the 105 radial, inbound to Kathmandu. There we are. Absolutely superb. So the 105 radial is just picked up 72 miles away, so we're heading directly southbound, away from the terrain, and we need to be climbing at 100 knots as well, which is the best climb speed. I don't know if their little aircraft should be a little bit quicker than a caravan, so we're gonna just take a little bit of power off just to help the guys keep up. 105 knots. Sorry, 100 knots. And we'll go from there. John Doe, where does top of descent start? Well, the elevation of Kathmandu is still pretty high, 4,400, but we're going to descend according to the approach chart. We're going to respectfully step down altitudes. We're only going to 13,500 again. We're just going to wait, keep going southbound directly until the alignment comes in for the VOR. That way we're going to be safe of terrain. Oh, Oh, getting a little bit of icing here. I better just make sure the window heat probe heat's on. Window heat's on. And probe heat's on. Heater heat. That's the icing. It's very... that. I mean, you think that's not light icing, but that'd be severe icing if it was icing up that quickly. Or at least moderate icing. And don't expect too much from Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's a tech demo for streaming. Have fun playing it without internet connection and graphics. It's not a simulation like X-Plane. Yeah, I'm more along the lines of it's more of a game. An incredibly good-looking game, but some aircraft do handle really nicely and handle well. I mean, it's great for GA. I do still prefer X-Plane 11 with that respect, but aircraft like this and other light aircraft for now really let you utilise the sim for what it's great at. I mean, it's the friggin' world, guys. It's there to be explored, and this is a fantastic aircraft to explore it in. There's Mount 51 down there, look. So yeah, I wouldn't go as far as saying it's a tech demo. I mean, it is an amazing demonstration of their big maps and having it loaded or streamed into the sim live time, but it's a great treat, really, to have this from the comfort of your own home. Only talking my PT6 to keep up at the moment. Yeah, I remember I don't know much about turboprop aircraft, how to operate these engines. I am not climbing at full power, so I know you can damage these PT6s quite easily. But yeah, we're levelling off now anyway, and I'll keep the speed low so you guys can catch up easily, because I think the caravan's probably a little bit slow. There's a little bit too much power off. And we'll bring the RPM back now to 75%. So I won't set way too much torque there. I should have brought the power back there. It's how to knacker your engines. There we go. So I'll keep the speed back a little bit so you guys don't have to go completely flat out. Maintain about 120 knots at 13,500 again. And you can see that the course deviation indicator's now alive, so that's worked out really nicely. Let's just get some automation in. So I need to match the heading first. There we are, here it comes. There's the heading bug. All set. We'll have a bit of autopilot, altitude, heading. Oh, it's set to 13,600. Whoops, 13,500, please. And I'm going to set a bit of an intercept heading as well. So let's go on to heading of about 240. And then once we've intercepted this radial, we can fly safely at this height all the way back to Kathmandu. Look at you guys in your caravans. You're all catching up quite nicely now, though. I brought the speed back for you. I'm only doing 125 knots. I think that aircraft can go a bit faster. I think this was, with the power setting I was setting earlier, could easily do 150 knots at the cruise. Beautiful. Thanks a lot for joining, guys. We've got here Bank Class 150, Soggy Head 1, Delta Oliver coming in his F-18 hot. Bone Mean Material, Hurricane 84, D Aviation IX, HAL XI, Prop Camper, The Easy Walker, Hands Off Helmet, here as well, unbelievable, oh yeah, excellent, nearly intercepted the radial, and what did I want to just make sure, yeah, 13.6, what is that saying, 13.6, 13.5, push down once. There we are. I think I might, hopefully, I've told it just to level off 13.5. So yeah, we're not going to use any GPS today. We're going old school. We're just using VOR navigation DME to get us safely on the ground. Now, could anyone bring up the weather for Kathmandu in chat? The airport code is Victor November Kilo Tango. We need to look at the RVR, okay? Because the RVR requirement for this approach that I want to fly, we need 3,700 meters. Just want to see what it is. Minimum is 3,700. So I think it was 6,000 when we left with a trend to decrease. So there we are. 4,000 meters. So the RVR, guys, is 4,000 meters. RVR required 3,700. It's just in limits to land off this approach. Oh my goodness me, it could get interesting. A lot of high terrain around. This is going to be great. Fingers crossed the RVR doesn't get any worse. We're going to fly this. It's a VOR approach, basically. VOR Bravo, which positions you to circle, basically. We can cancel once we get minimums, hopefully go visual as well. Very interesting that the RVR is right on limits. Yeah, all good. Brilliant. So yeah, VR navigation flying to a beacon, all working correctly. So we're pretty much aligned there. So we'll switch over to nav. Now nav in VLOC mode will follow any radial we have tuned on HSI, and GPS mode will follow the GPS programmed into the route as well. Look at the formation flying here. I'll pop off into the drone cam in a second so we can have a look at you guys. I have no ETA information either, so I'm actually just... I'm not going to cheat by using the map, but I quite like to have ETA information. So what I'm going to do is route direct Victor November Kilo Tango. Victor November Kilo Tango. I just saw it. Ooh. There we go. So enter, activate. There we are. So remember, we're not flying directly to the airport yet because we're still turning onto the route. And what I'm going to do is close that. So all I wanted down here was sort of ETE and ground speed distance information from the airport. So there we are. We're still not cheating. Excellent, guys. If you are enjoying the video so far, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button. Firstly, for landing at Lukla for the first time, but really enjoying it so far. Anyway, let's see what we've got flying around us right now. There we are, drone cam. Love this camera. So directly behind us is Ben Class 150 in... Oh, there's his wings. In his Cessna Caravan. Is he going to give us a little wing wave? And de-aviation. We've got Socky Head 1, Hurricane 84. De-aviation 1 is doing some beautiful wing waving. Just notice when you get a little bit closer now that the name badges disappear, which I quite like actually. There he goes. That's so cool. I quite like the fact that the name tags disappear when you get quite close to the range. That's superb. It's a lot cleaner. Very nice. Look at the Twin Otter. Such a versatile aeroplane. There's borrowing material. It is TBM. Very nice. Thanks for joining, guys. Excellent. So, guys, really don't have that long to go. 21 minutes until we're overhead the airport at this point here. Remember, the weather is actually pretty rubbish now. Let's hope it doesn't update again before we get there, because the RVR is 4,000 metres, quite close to an approach band for this particular approach. But we'll have a look at that shortly. Let's have a look here in chat. Jones, new sub, thank you very much. Welcome to the channel. Mirchar, what service is this? Northern Europe. Where's the F-18? No doubt will come here any second, John. Antir, of course, I have to admit that Microsoft Flight Simulator looks awesome, no doubt. But if you like a more complex simulation, then I hit the limitation of any FS from MS in the past. Just looking nice is not all. I absolutely agree with you, Antir. It really depends where you're in. Now, I've been flight simming for 20 years. Been streaming and making content on this channel for 5 years now, and I noticed that a lot of people are very bitter towards one sim and not the other. I like both of them. I genuinely, I have preferences. I do prefer X-Plane because of the aircraft I fly on the channel, and because, you know, I fly this. I'm a 737 pilot. The Zebo mod is the best replication of a 737 in X-Plane. I know PMDG are making their 737. I'm sure that'll be excellent, and it'll be really interesting to see how it works and how complex they've made that. Pending, you know, Microsoft Flight Sim's limitations at the moment. But this sim, I enjoy it. This stream, I've enjoyed it. We're flying around in Nepal, flying the most difficult approaches in the world, in stunning visibility, live weather. Live weather seems to be working fine. I like both sims, and I don't get why some people are so bitter towards other people that use the other sims. I sometimes see on my people comment on videos, X-Plane 11's so dead. When Microsoft Flight Sim came out, not sure about that, but yeah, appreciate both sims and realise how in the 21st century, 2022 here, how lucky we are to have this level of immersion, detail, realism. In the case of Microsoft Flight Simulator, as I've mentioned, the world is here, modelled, but people killed for this years ago, and we have it now. You can just literally download it for whatever Microsoft Flight Simulator is, 60 quid. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, that's my rant over. Nice rant, I suppose. Hi Fred, or hey Fred, did you say your settings are at high end or ultra? Clouds always look better on other people's streams. On high end, not at ultra. I think high end looks absolutely stunning. And I think even ultra on my PC it should be running fine, but high end looks great. Why not leave it at high end? 60 FPS right now, and continuously at 60 FPS. Anyway, sorry, I never include prepared in this either. Prepared, of course. You know, I think it still has some of the best commercial jets available. All the PMDU's original jets, the 787, the Mad Dog. So I never include prepared. I should do because I've never used it. But yeah, absolutely, you can still see why people use that sim. Very nice. I mean, look at the our shadow on that other aircraft as well. Absolutely stunning. Right. Anyway, so if that Aerosoft dev is still here, big request. Can you perhaps change the distance from whole numbers to increments in 0.1 nautical miles? The reason is this is the only DME information I have on VOR here. Look, 51. Have a look at our approach chart. It's based off 6.5 here. I mean, they are whole nautical miles, but not all of them are. So it's quite hard to work out when to start descending on step profiles. So if they could change that to 0.1 increments instead of whole nautical miles, then it'd be much better. But this is what we're doing, guys. We are already established inbound at 285 towards the Kathmandu VOR. Ivar Lumbie, thank you very much for becoming a member. Glad you're enjoying the content. You get invited to our members-only Discord. Hope you enjoy using the custom emojis in chat. Thank you very much for the dedicated support, sir. Really do appreciate it. Thank you. So we're already established inbound on the VOR here. Let me just bring up my Navigraph charts again. 285. And what we're going to do, you can see where we are. There's our little aeroplane. Is keep going on in this direction, hello Jack, until we get to a distance of 15 miles. At 15 miles we'll be at waypoint Igris, and we want to be at 10,500, and we're just going to step down, guys, according to the distance. Okay, 9,500, and then we're not going to do CDA, we're just going to step down, boof, boof, like it's depicted on this chart. 10 miles, 9,500, 6.5 miles, we can go to 7,500. 6,600, you get the picture. Keep stepping down until we are 2 miles away at the missed approach point, and we can go down. This is technically a circle to land because it's, you know, it's not the runway direction is this way. We're coming in this direction. Now at 2 miles we can go down to 5,600, but just before that 5,800 is the minimum circling altitude, and we'll maintain that altitude until we're 2 miles away. Now if at 2 miles we are not visual, we have to fly the missed approach, which just flies straight ahead. Outbound overhead the VOR 288 to dark, or dark, yeah, I don't know how it's pronounced, but yeah, that's how we're going to do that. And then if we're visual, we can then manoeuvre the aircraft onto final. Strangely, it says aircraft shall execute visual manoeuvring maintaining 5,600 and staying within the quadrant, but if you do that you'll never get straight in. So what I'm going to do is descend, probably fly a little bit outbound this way and then just turn final. This is the key thing we need to watch out for, guys. Look, minimum visibility requirements for this approach is 3,700 meters. Right now, live weather in Kathmandu, it is 4,000 meters. We only have 300 meters to spare, okay, RVR wise, so it's really tight. This approach is not authorised at night, so it's daytime only with the RVR requirements. Don't go too far north. Look, you'll hit a mountain. This sector will be above the MSA, and obviously we can descend as we are on the procedure. So that's it, landing on runway 02. Let me just have a quick look at the airport chart, which is, just get rid of that one. That one. landing on runway 02. We'll just vacate left at Echo as soon as we can, and then taxi on to, well, we'll go to the domestic apron like we did at the start. So that's it. I'll reference that chart a few times as we descend as well, so you can keep an eye on it, and if you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask them. Otherwise, I think we're all ready to go to start our descent soon. We have a distance of 41 miles to go, so remember, 15 miles we need to be at 10,500, and look, you can see how the visibility is starting to decrease as we head westbound. We are IFR at the moment, looking really, really cool. It's great. This has just worked out really nicely. Brandon, no Yo Cam today. We missed Jack. He's coming again when we next fly the Zebo mod. We'll definitely get it out. Chris Curtin, FS98 used to have the whole world, except more of it. Most of it was just big fuzzy pixels. Yes, I remember. Robin K, just for information, the fuel control levers normally have 3 D10s, off, low idle, and high idle. Ah,
50,
thanks Robin
40,
K. So
30,
I guess that might be coming
20,
because it's just on and off. That's
10.
why I'm getting confused with the checklist maybe. Thank you very much, I am Phil.
Just to thank you.
Oh, cheers, buddy. That's really nice. Thank you very much from Canada. I hope you're having a great late morning or early afternoon. Thank you very much for your generosity there, and I hope you're doing well. Thank you indeed. Cheers. And I hope you're doing well. Jones, this is hard to play this gaming keyboard. Yes, I'd recommend getting some joystick or peripherals and some icing again. Keyboard and mouse is a little challenging. Anyway, how many miles to go now are we? Well, time-wise, 13 minutes, and I think what we're going to do now is step down to 10,500, okay, which is the beginning of the procedure at Igris. We need to maintain that height until we get to 15 miles, okay. We're still established nicely on the VOR, so what I'm going to do is preset the altitude to 10,500. We'll descend manually, actually, re-engage the automation. So there's the autopilot disconnected. Just going to take a little bit of power off. I'm still going to leave the cruise RPM set. And we'll go down to 10,500, just descending 2,000 feet. And look at the weather ahead. Thanks, Commander Genoho, for 21 months as a member. There appears to be a .x distance figure on the lower Garmin display under user. What on earth is that, Genohofen, you're referring to? There seems to be an X distance figure on the lower Garmin display under user. Are you talking about I can actually change the increments? Oh, I really don't. Where's user? I'm hand flying in a moment, buddy. I can't spend too long looking at that. Sorry, I completely don't know what you mean there, Genohofen. Lauren, oh yeah, you could use an Xbox controller in Microsoft Flight Simulator, yes. Oops, look, as soon as I start looking at chat, deviating off my course. In real life, would you be able to fly this using GPS distance? Not this approach, you need to have DME. DME, somebody on the chart will say DME required probably. There you go, look, DME required, so you wouldn't be able to use it. It'll obviously work, but you need to use the... if you're flying a VOR approach, this is the thing. In real life, we fly VOR approaches and NDB approaches, and the aircraft isn't using the VOR NDB, it's using the FMC programmed arrival, which is an LNAV. It's not using the information, but we have to have it tuned and identified. If it's not, we can't fly the approach, even though the aircraft can do it. It's just that way it is. That's why there's so many RNAV approaches now. Genohofen, no, look on the lower display, there's an XX.X0. Oh, is there? Ah, but that's GPS distance. I don't think that's yeah, Genohofen, I think the distance you're seeing there, oh, is it? 29. No, that has to be GPS distance. Or is that information from the... Well, let's find out. Let's detune it. Yeah, that's GPS information. That's not... I can't use that, Genohofen. I've got to use this one. It is going to be close, but it's not the same. That's GPS distance. Yes. So approaching 10,500. Need to make sure we still stay on that radial. Can't deviate off that. I'll just move the control column conveniently out of the way. One to go. Still rely on the instruments. Looks stunning, doesn't it? You guys all in formation still. Have you got your charts out as well? Formation IFR flying. Amazing. Man, I'm so watching your stream and no, my coffee is cold. Cheers, Ante. Right, who's that? Pat Hurley, thank you very much for joining as a member. Glad you enjoyed the content, buddy. You get invited to our members only Discord. I hope you enjoy using your custom emojis in chat. Thank you very much indeed for your membership. I love flights like this, because I genuinely don't know what's going to happen. I've not actually tried this approach. I just thought of it at the end of the stream. I was just going to do lots of circuits, but I thought it'd be quite cool to do a group flight where we all fly the same instrument approach. Yeah, I remember when we took off, it was quite hazy. I remember it's live time there, so it's as it gets later, visibility generally gets worse. Right, approaching 10,500. We are at a distance of 24 nautical miles from the VOR. Now, so let's level off. Slowly increase the power. Set about 35. What's the? Is it? You don't say 35 torques, do you? What's the actual power setting referenced as? You know, you say inches or N1%, whatever. What do you say when you're referring to a torque pressure setting? Let's get the autopilot in for a second. So, autopilot in, altitude hold, nav. Are you on the course of 285? We should be. Oh, 1 degree out. So 105 inbound. So it doesn't actually show you exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy it's close enough. Maybe that's 285. Gigafums. 30 for you guys. 35 llamas. Is 35 torques, is it, Blackness? Newton meters. Yeah, they don't say that. Alright, could you set 35 Newton meters, please? Or maybe they do. I don't know. Thanks for subscribing to 5787H. Commander Jedi for 25 at Oogadook. It's unbelievable. Anyway, let's have a look here. We're about to start the procedure, guys. Wait until 15 miles away. We cannot go below 10,500. And then we're going to firstly step down to 9,500. That's the next part of the approach there. A little bit of icing again. We do have the pitot window heat on. Of course, we'll be monitoring the wings, having a look at the condition of the wings. Getting a bit of icing here, that would be unlikely. So 18 miles, waiting for 15 miles. Uh-oh, here comes the icing again. That's the last thing I need. Is that icing on the wiper here, or is that just worn? Didn't see that before. Please don't ice them. I think they have got like a full icing model. Love the quality. The exterior model, beautiful. Approaching 15 miles, guys. They are 17 miles. And we're going to step down to 9,500, 10 miles. Until 10 miles. I'm not worried about CDA, I'm just going to do a dirty dive down to 9,500. 16 miles, so 1 mile before. Where's my mouse cursor gone? We'll set 9,500. And how do we use vertical speed? I think you can use use this. I've not actually tried it, but oh, I didn't have my transponder on. If I press down, I think it'll descend for me. Yeah, we are. Look, it's descending for me. There we are. Oh, it's descending quickly. I'll take a bit of power off. 2,000 feet. That's a little bit excessive. Press it. I only pressed it once. There we are. Yeah, we definitely want to stay on this approach, guys. Look at this weather. Really sketchy. You stay close, guys. Otherwise you'll get hit a mountain or a hill. Hurricane 84 there. Oh, will it level off at 9,500 or do I have to do something manually? Took a bit too much power off there. Ooh, it's not going to level off, is it? No, level off my airplane. So I guess that's a little something the aircraft I'm unfamiliar with. It doesn't actually level off manually, so that's okay. I've let this get to the automation. I can re-engage it. Altitude, nav. There we are. So don't keep descending. No, 9,500. That's the platform altitude. So you must not go below the final approach fixed platform altitude until you got your distance. It's a big no-no. So I think I'll fly it manually. More fun anyway. So referencing the chart, we need to be 10 miles, 9,500 see that King Air? 9,500 feet. And then we can descend after 10 miles, 6.5 miles down to 7,500. So we'll maintain this height. This is proper IFR flying. This hand flying in the Aerosoft Twin Otter Mega. So I brought the speed back to around 110 knots. I'm going to increase the RPM to max RPM now as well. Probably a bit early. Remember, the aircraft is not representative of the final product, so the sounds was a bit funny there when I increased the RPM, and it's actually gotten quieter, but hopefully that will be, I'm pretty sure that will be all fixed prior to release. Right, there's 10 miles, okay, so we can now step down to 7,500. Must stay on the radial as well, because we have high terrain mountains either side. 7,500. Slowly reduce that power again. Now we're proper getting into IMC. Gotta respect the heights and the radials, guys. Again, as I'm hand flying now. Now I'm sort of bringing the artificial horizon into the scan because I've got no reference of the horizon. This is very dangerous. Ooh, I think someone's used a little cheeky slew there. There we are, into the soup. Look at the terrain around us. I actually want to descend a little bit quicker here, actually. Let's go idle. That's actually helped us out getting below the clouds. Okay, 6.5 miles. We're at 8 now. At 6.5 it can go down from 7,500 to 6,600. Checked. So we are a distance of 1 mile before that, so we can actually now step down to 6,600. Remember, the elevation here is, I think it's 4,400 feet. So there we are, 6 at 6. Alright, is what we can set. 6,600. A little bit off that radial there, so let's just make a right turn. And we've got to maintain 6,600 until 4 miles. This is mega. This is what the desktop's... Look at this weather. What's the latest RVR, actually? Well, I'm on the approach now. Oh yeah, I need to set the QNH. Thank you. 1019. That's very important as well. Jeez. Right, approaching 6,600. And I've got to maintain this height until 4 miles away. So levelling off now. There we are. Cannot go below 6,600 until we're 4 miles out. We're at a distance of 5 miles. So after this we can go down to 6,100. Got no GPS. 6,100. Just approaching 4 miles now. We'll wait until, you probably can't see because of the stream pixelation, but there we are, 5 miles. That's 4 miles now, so we can now descend down to 6,100. It's starting to rain. get the wipers on shortly. There's 6,100. A little bit low. I didn't anticipate that level off. That was great. 6,100. And until 3 miles, there's 3 miles. We can now go to our circling minima. Okay, the circling minima is 5,800. And that's our minima. And we've got to see the runway by 2 miles. So 5,800 feet set, levelling off. He's not worried about the procedure. This is marginal. It's very close to minimums. What's the latest RVR? 4,000 metres. Still good. 5,800. Right, so we're 3 miles away. We've got to see the runway by 2 miles, guys. It's going to be just off our right. 3 miles. Ooh, I'm squinting. There is that, guys. You might not be able to see it, but that is the runway and that is the airport. See the threshold? That's the threshold of the runway there. So we're visual. So I'm happy to continue the approach, and I'm going to go visual now. I'm already below circling minima, so 5,600 was the lowest we can manoeuvre at, and now we'll position the aircraft to land on final. So I'm just going to go slightly outwind. There's the runway, and that's sort of like this is bare, bare minimum what we can do. So we'll cancel the approach, and we'll go visual now. And I'm just going to position the aircraft manually. Start selecting flaps. So we just need to go below 100 knots first. Turn that music off. There we are. Now we are below 100 knots, or 103 knots. I can select flap 10. Very high actually here. Turning final. It's a little bit steep to be fair. And we can hang this aircraft now below 93 knots, so I can select flap 40. A little bit high. That's okay with this aircraft. All that flap. We can just land long. Yes. So I was a little bit high, but that works well. Look at all you guys. It's like a London City approach. There we are, established on final. Don't worry about the pappies. Again, the 737, a big issue, but on a long runway like this in the Twatter, no problem at all.
50, 40, 30.
Check. Close. Yeah, don't do that this.
Yeah.
Hold the attitude. Oh yes, we're down. Reverses. There we are. Vacate at Alpha. Oh, look at that. Look, braking on this thing. You could stop it at twopence if you needed to, on a 10p piece. There we are. We're down. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kathmandu. That was a VOR Bravo approach. Overall, quite happy. So we got to 5,600 at 2 miles. Got to be visual at that point. If not, go around. I could just about see the runway. So we were here when we saw the runway, and then we sort of just did a little base leg, and I started by descent quite late to commit to land. I don't understand fully the whole maintain 5,600. So I don't know if that's if you're going downwind to land on 2-0. But no, it works out really nicely. That approach there. So you practice that until your heart's content. Excellent. Thank you very much to everyone that joined as well. Absolutely mega. Great aircraft, great fun as well. You'll be joining them doing this in your Twin Otters. Twin Otters in no time. Well, less than a week to be precise. Beautiful. Got the grass, are we? That weather came in quick, didn't it? If we left, it wasn't as bad as this. Superb. Now we've got to find aircraft carriers. Yeah, the perfect aircraft to practice landing on aircraft carriers. You don't need an arrestor hook. It was a good greaser. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know it has replay, but you've got to have developer mode on, haven't you? And then start it recording or something. Yeah, I do miss that. There you go. You just hit the building, sir. I saw that. Don't pretend you didn't notice. We didn't notice. I hit a building today, though. Hurricane C-84 just taxiing straight to a hangar. I just saw the aircraft abruptly stop. Excellent. Fortunately, the default airports, they're okay, but look, you've got like taxi edge lights, a bit of a taxiway. One thing X-Men 11 has a really good thing for is people's ability to edit any airport they like and then add it to X-Plane. So most stock airports actually have correct stand numbers, I think, certainly the most used ones. But, both sims have their great freeware airports as well. Some Microsoft Flight Simulator have some great free airports. Right, let's go park over here. So guys, as the aircraft isn't available yet, I will do another stream in it when it's released, and I will check to Aerosoft. I think they do vouchers or something. I'll get some Aerosoft vouchers. I'll purchase some of those. I don't know if they do aircraft codes like any builds or something, but we'll definitely give away one of these ones. But there we are. Parking brake is set. I'm not going to do the full checks in. The lighting, I think the night lighting is excellent in this thing as well. I mean, if I was actually to go to live time quickly, have a little look. I mean, I haven't got any of the cockpit lighting on, but you can see everything's illuminated very nicely indeed. Night lighting in this sim as well is really nice. I can't even see the switches to turn half them on. The reading lights are on. Yeah, you get the idea. You have to trust me when I say that. Make it a little bit more pretty. There we go. So, just cut off the fuel. And it probably comes off later, but we'll turn off the fuel here as well, just to make sure the engines definitely turn off. There we are, back in Kathmandu. What a lovely stream that was today. Superb. Shame they won't replay though. Kind of Jen, an enjoyable stream, Captain. Thank you very much. Made a nice change for the 737. Absolutely microfish. I love jumping into this sim and trying something different. The angles of this plane are beautiful. Yeah, it's such a utilitarian aircraft. When you think about it, I think the original Twin Otter was designed back in the 60s, wasn't it? 60s or something. It's now remade by another company, which I forget the name of, with all modern avionics and everything. Lots of butter emojis today. Yeah, it would have definitely been a -10. Excellent. So yeah, a little bit high on that one there. Yeah, Jonathan Wiltshire, visual. Funny enough, to fly visual approaches, unbelievably, my operator, the minimum RVR requirement is 800 meters to technically fly a visual approach. Not that you ever could or would, but a visual approach, all you need to have to fly a visual approach is reference of the terrain. You need to see the terrain around the airport and visual with the runway, and then you can request a visual approach. That's all that's needed, and that's what we met at that point there. We could have continued. We continued at 2 miles. And you know, you can at any point just go to HC. Oh yeah, you know, Alpaca, whatever we are today, or no, we're actually November 708 Papa Victor. Request visual approach, and HC, yeah, cleared visual approach, report on final. So that was it. It was a very short visual approach, onto about a 2-mile final, too high, but all good, all good. Are you sure you were visual? I didn't see anything. Yeah, I could, John, and I showed you. It was just in view there, the runway, just in view. Excellent. So, just before I sign out, I'd like to say a massive thank you to Aerosoft for sending me out the aircraft to try out. It is available to purchase a week today. It'll be, was it €29.99, €35, about $40, I think. Also, my personal opinion is great. I really like it. And I've just shown you one variant. This is the one with the parachute option, so you can have the lights in there. They've got one on floats, one with tundra wheels. You've got normal passenger variants. You can take this aircraft anywhere. You can go to Lukla, you can land on the side of a mountain, you can land it in the desert, you can land it on a beach in Barra. It's a great aircraft to come to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I think it's very good value for money, and I think it seems well modelled. As I highlighted at one point, the checklist that comes with it, it's not even fully finished yet in this version I've got here. 155 pages, and it goes into so much detail. All the power settings, look, emergency procedures, checklists and trial flights to fly, all the systems knowledge in there as well. It all seems to be modelled. So yeah, really impressed with everything this aircraft has to offer as well. So yeah, looking forward to having it released and doing some more streams in it. So thanks to Aerosoft for that. To everyone that donated, thank you for your generosity. To all the members as well, thank you for the continued support as well. Going to finish it today. Next live, well, I'm on standby Friday, maybe then. I am flying on Saturday, and then Sunday I'll be actually doing a race on the gaming channel as well. So we'll do it. I envisage doing a stream on this channel. Prior to then, I'll dream something up of the thousands of millions of different possibilities we can do in either X-Plane or Microsoft Flight Simulator. Guys, have a lovely evening, and I'll catch up with you all very soon. Stay safe. Bye bye for me.